Hey guys, this is another comic review by yours truly, and this one is going to be on The Flash, and it's the trade back called Rogues. I picked this up on a whim from the library, so it didn't cost me nothing. The price marked on the back is $15, so it's not that bad, all things considering. Now, how do I rate this? I learned a lot out of this, actually. This is the Wally West Flash, and it does give you a lot of information in regards to the rogues, his various rogues that he has. And I have to say, this makes me think that Flash's rogues aren't as much of a joke as they always seem to be. I'll get into more detail later after, spoilers and all that. But I would definitely say this is, if you can borrow this, do it, just for the sake of learning more about Flash and his various rogues. There's a really great comic, or the very last issue on this book is on Captain Cold. And it's an interesting story. It's basically his origin, and it really kind of gives you an idea that this isn't just a knockoff of Mr. Freeze. This is a legitimate guy, and he has a legitimate story and a reason for the way he is. And it's kind of cool. It really is. Now, I will say this. I've always thought, first time I've ever been introduced to Gorilla Grodd was the old cartoon shows. So for me, Gorilla Grodd was a joke. I was like, really? One of Flash's worst enemies is an intelligent gorilla? So yeah, I was among that group of people thinking, really? But then I read this and holy shit. Excuse the language, but wow. This guy would give anybody frickin' nightmares. This thing is a monster. I mean, this is like miniature King Kong with intelligence and a desire to kill all humans. I did not realize Grodd was this freaking horrible. So yeah, I mean, from that alone, you should I hope I've piqued your interest. I would definitely say this is at least a 4 out of 5, probably a 5 out of 5. So I definitely suggest picking it up and at least borrowing it or trying to read it in the bookstore, whatever you can do. Now, from this point on, I'm going to probably do a little bit of spoilers. So if you don't want to get ruined on it, you might want to drop off now. Basically, this does start off with, basically, he meets this friend of his named Chunk, who I've never heard of, who's basically a human black hole. And he has to deal with that issue. Throughout that problem, you see little hints that the rogues are planning something, which they never really tell us what they're planning. I don't know. But then we get to see that he has a friend named Pied Piper who used to be a villain. Now he's in trouble, going to prison, apparently thinks he killed his own parents. Then there's this Joker thing that breaks out, making all the inmates there, look like Joker and act like Joker, blah-de-blah-de-blah. We get to see Linda Park, who is Wally West's wife, and I never realized this, but it seems that Flash is like, I'm trying to think of a good example. It's like Wally West Flash is like Oliver Queen and Green Arrow, or Tony Stark and Iron Man. Everybody knows that they are the same person. It's interesting how I didn't realize this, but it seems like everybody knows that Wally West is the Flash in his city. They all know. He works real tight with the police. Anyway, so moving on. They also introduced this radioactive character named Fallout. He's not really a villain per se. He's just a walking nightmare that can't help it. He just wants to go visit his wife and child's grave. While doing so, he creating this huge radioactive fallout. Finally, you know, they get it taken care of, blah, blah, blah. And let's see. One of his friends gets killed, a detective gets replaced by some guy named, what was it again? Plunder, I think? Yeah, Plunder. So somehow Plunder is able to replace one of his friends, looks just like him, blah, 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 and then it goes into the Captain Cold story that I was telling you about. And that was a really impressive issue. That one really delved into his character. So, I mean, I'd definitely say you should try to pick this up and take a look at it at least. So, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. You know the drill. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.